So many times throughout my entire life, I've been told core, right? Core. Anytime I ask a client, where's your core? Core. Where's your hip flexors? Hip flexors. But nobody knows what it is. And there's a lot of confusion, I'm going to strengthen my core by doing sit-ups. Well, yes, you are strengthening your core during sit-ups because your core goes through the entire center of the body. So if you don't have core working for you, internal support structure, then you will be risking injury to the lumbar spine because the lumbar spine will be collapsing on itself. Because guess what? The psoas, those big old rectangle looking things there, are a very important part of the core support structure. The QL, the muscles in the back between the lower rib and your pelvis, very important for support structure. What's up there? You are so smart. Say hi. What's up? Yeah, I didn't even see. Man, oh man, I got people watching. This is awesome. My first day. Thank you so much. So make sure you like, share, and follow. Appreciate that. So we're talking core today and core support. So we're going to take your mind off of rectus abdominis, because if you think about it, rectus abdominis, superficial muscle, right? So if it's superficial muscle, it can't be core. It's not deep within inside. So when you look at the abdomen in relation to core, we're looking at transverse abdominis wrapping around the waist. We're looking at QL, definitely deep internal core. We're looking at multifidus muscles in between the vertebrae. We're looking at psoas, iliacus, pelvic floor. All the muscles in the pelvic floor are so important for, I'm going to right now. Pictures? Pictures of what? Be specific. I subscribe. Thank you, Shay. Right on. We're looking at adductors. Okay, so you can see the psoas attaches to the inner thigh here, way up on the inner thigh, and it's your soccer kicking muscle, right? Flexion of the leg, but also connecting, and it's the only muscle that attaches the upper body to the lower body, and it intertwines with these adductor muscles, the muscles on the inner thigh, the muscles that bring the leg across the body. And then those adductors come all the way down into the knee, wrapping into the knee and connecting into the posterior tibialis, wrapping down, going back down behind the leg, in between the tib and fib, wrapping up underneath the foot. So that is our connection to the ball, just behind the ball of the big toe. That is our connection to core in relation to the lower body. Now the psoas intertwines with the diaphragm. So what's something that you do when you lift up something that's heavier than you're used to? You hold your breath, right? That helps you engage your core, but it's not efficient. And when we train, we want to be efficient in our movement, which means I want to be able to breathe the entire time I'm lifting something up. Doesn't mean you'll never hold your breath, because sometimes we lift things that are heavier than we're supposed to, or that we're strong enough to. But it also means when you're done lifting it, bring yourself back to breathing and let your diaphragm relax. Then we've got our intercostals in between all the ribs, very important part of the core of our support. Now we've got those erector muscles coming up the back as well, in between all the vertebrae. And then we get up into the SCM and the scalenes and the longus colli in the front, deep internal front of the neck, all the way up into our masseters and our temporalis. What's another thing that you have a tendency to do when things get heavy or life gets overwhelming? Clench your jaw, right? Focus your eyes. Those can also be a part of confusion in relation to the core. Now, in my world, the limbic system is what controls the core. Okay? So what I want you to do right now, I keep saying core and I keep feeling a little bit of tension. So if you're here right now and you're not typing and you're not doing anything, do yourself a favor and rub on your hand here. This is one of my hacks that I'll send you if you actually subscribe to my website. Setting this intention connects you into your limbic system. And when your limbic system is overwhelmed, your brain loses connection with core, with support. And so you can imagine you go to sleep last night and you're overwhelmed, and you wake up this morning and your back's a little achy and your jaw might hurt and you're kind of grouchy. That means your limbic system has been partying all night long, thinking about all kinds of stuff from your past and not relaxing, which can possibly also mean that you didn't get deep, restful sleep, which can also possibly mean that you weren't feeding your brain oxygen. You weren't possibly breathing correctly because of the stress. And so when you use breathing techniques or you integrate tapping into your healing of yourself every single day, especially at night, because we're going to have stress during the day, right? Hopefully not throughout the whole day. But if you are dealing with pain, dealing with divorce, dealing with thinking about past traumas, you may very well have stress all day long. Make sure you subscribe. If you enjoy this information about your core, a new thought process about the core, make sure you subscribe. But if you have pain every day, your limbic system may be overwhelmed. And since your limbic system controls the core of your body, you will not have a core while you sleep, which is why you wake up cranky, why your back hurts, why your body hurts, possibly why you have to get up all night long to pee, because your pelvic floor, part of the core, isn't supporting your bladder or sending too many signals to your urethra telling you, hey, we're full. Get up and go pee, right? Babies don't get up all night. Babies are much more relaxed. Their limbic system is calm because they're just focused on the moment. But us as older adults, we have a tendency to focus on all kinds of crap from the past, all kinds of crap from the future, or in the future, instead of being present in the moment. So that's why it's very important to do your homework every single day and release your stresses. And yes, right now they are your stresses, but what if we, instead of calling them my stresses, we call them the stress that I'm holding on to? And if I can release the stress, the emotional attachment to yesterday and tomorrow, I can be present here now in the moment. My limbic system, deep within my brain, can have a better opportunity of maintaining my core support, maintaining the function of all of my digestive organs. And that way I wake up happy, healthy, ready to face my day, ready to face any challenge because I am internally supported by my core. Anybody have any questions about that? What questions do you have about your core? As I see everybody just split. That's all right. I know that this information is so valuable. And when you guys connect with this information, you can literally change your life. Now, what do I do in relation to helping people get their limbic system back online, heal their physical body, heal their emotional body, their mental body, their spiritual connection? I'm a healer. I was born a healer, didn't know it for a long, long time. Ended up in massage school when I was 30, just on a whim. I was actually supposed to have a construction job in Phoenix, Arizona. I called the guy up. He's like, man, we don't have the job that I told you we're going to have, and it's hotter than hell here. Go do something else. That was 24 years ago. Opened up the phone book, dialed up the local school, and went to school. I'd never even had a massage before. Now I did have experience with the body because I was a personal trainer, but that moment right there changed my life because I'd done a lot of damage to my brain, to my limbic system, with a lot of concussions, a lot of head injuries, being a snowboarder, and just doing a lot of dumb stuff to myself. And those things built up a lot. Now, did they get healed in massage school? No. I had a lot of learning to do in order to get where I am today, understanding so much about the brain and its response to my body. And when I began healing my brain and my limbic system, I began feeling supported within myself, which is amazing. And when I'm supported within myself, I am confident, I'm happy, I am eloquent with my words. Beautiful. So do you have any questions about your core that I can answer for you today? By all means, put them out there. Put it in the chat. You know what? I do have a question about my core. Why does my back hurt all the time? Why is my jaw hurt? Why is my vision messed up? My digestion is crap. Put it in there. Put in those questions. It'll be interesting to know what's going on out there. Me too. Ice T subscribed. Nice. Ice T. It looks like Ice T subscribed. Very nice. Shay subscribed. Beautiful. Sub to him. Right on. I am new to the YouTube live. I was a TikToker, but things have changed for me. So we are putting my focus on YouTube. So, hey, put it out there. Do you have any questions about your core and what you can do for yourself to strengthen your core? Now I'm going to answer that right now. Every movement that you make has an opportunity to strengthen your core. And remember, core is not abdomen. I know there's some new people here. Core is not your abdomen. There is core structure in the abdomen. Transverse abdominis, QL, psoas, diaphragm, iliacus, adductors, posterior tibialis, diaphragm, intercostals, scalenes, longus coli, masseters, temporalis. We want those guys on all the time. No questions asked. Thick and thin. I'm happy, I have a core. I'm overwhelmed, I have a core. I'm depressed. You might not have a core if you're depressed. Because if you're depressed, that's your brain everywhere besides here. And the limbic system, in my world, is what controls the core. And so if you say you had a hard day at work and you're just pissed at the world, right? Can you feel your chest tighten up? You've had those days. And now you're thinking about them all of a sudden. And now, do you notice a little bit of tension in your body? That's the sign that your brain just went, your limbic system just went, and shut off all of or parts of your support structure, your core. And so what if you could release that emotional attachment to those experiences in the past, the angers, the fears, the worries, the physical injuries or physical traumas that you've experienced? What if you could release that so that anytime you thought about those old experiences, you didn't have that emotional response deep in the limbic system, and therefore your core would remain there for you. So you could actually pick your nose and have a core. You could lift the box up off the floor and not worry about throwing your back out because you know that your back is structurally supported. Your neck is structurally supported. Now, if you've ever had a car accident, you might have had a whiplash. You might have broken a windshield with your forehead. I have. Good time. It wasn't a good time when I woke up on the backboard in the hospital strapped down by myself in the hospital. Talk about a freak out. That was a bad day, but I released the emotional attachment to it. So when I talk about it nowadays, I don't have an emotional response. It's just a story that I can share with you guys to help you realize, holy crap, how much stuff am I holding on to? Because it's not any fun to hold on to the past, is it? Gets pretty heavy, doesn't it? What's it feel like when you're wearing a backpack that's not supportive, right? That doesn't connect to your body correctly and is friggin' super heavy. Get your legs tired super fast. You're holding your breath. You got maybe a headache because it's pressing so hard on your traps. And so if we can take all the rocks and boulders, all the emotional attachment from your past out of that backpack. So now it's just one of those little backpacks that the girls wear that are cute. You don't even know it's back there. That's what we want for ourselves. Do you guys have any questions out there? Go ahead and put in the chat. Like, subscribe, follow. I think it's subscribe. YouTube is subscribe, isn't it? All right. Let's see. I ran out of stuff to say. I was very excited today. Yes, this is actually my first live on my phone. Usually I go live on my computer, but I decided to use the phone today, see how it works. It's actually quite easy, and people are really excited to be here. Are you excited to be here today? I know I am. Funny thing about excitement is that the body recognizes excitement and creates hormones in relation to excitement, but excitement also are around the same hormones as anxiety. So how does your body respond or know the difference between excitement and anxiety? If at any time you've been injured during an exciting time, now that might actually change into anxiety. So in the future, when you experience those exciting things again, your limbic system goes and says, oh, that's anxious, I'm going to get hurt again. And it shuts down that excitement. Does that resonate with you? Tell me hi in the chat if you would. I would appreciate that. Let me know that my chat is working for me. That was a huge aha day when I learned that. Like, oh, is that possibly why I get sick when I exercise really hard? Because back in the day, I would exercise really hard after a concussion. And now my brain doesn't know the difference. It does now. I'm excited to have caught your live here. It's me. It's me, Jessica. We talked last week. Is this Jessica from TikTok? And if so, what's your TikTok name? So I can, oh, Jessica Smoot. Oh, awesome, Jessica. Very cool. Thank you for coming back. That's awesome. How's the homework been doing for you from the information page? Have you received that information? And if you haven't, it might be in your spam folder. So make sure you check your spam folder and start putting that stuff to work. Hi again, right on. That's awesome. Yeah, when I saw your last name, I didn't see your last name earlier. Jessica. Oh, Jessica Smoot. Awesome. And then anytime I see somebody's name is Jessica, it's like, it's me, Jessica. From forget the name of the movie. Shoot, I forget. Yes, I've gotten all the emails, and yes, been tapping. Beautiful, Jessica. How's it working out for you? What have you noticed different in your life or sleep or digestion or pain relief? I love to hear that people are actually receiving the information. And for those of you that don't know, you can visit my website. Actually, I put that in the chat right now. Yes, I know that movie line. You can visit my website at kimmcIntyre.com, contact Kim, and that'll get you on my email list. And it'll immediately get you 5 steps to decrease inflammation in your brain and body, which sugar is a major part of inflammation. Watching our screens all the time, as well as inability to breathe. Or, well, we're always breathing, otherwise we'd be dead, right? But breathing efficiently. I had some frustration around it, however, and was having some I've had some frustration around it. What do you mean, Jessica? I don't know if I can. Nope. What frustration did you have around it? Maybe I can clear that up for you. But less tension is huge, right? But we want to acknowledge the frustration. What is that frustration? So today, for anybody here that's new, we are talking core, a new definition of core. Or is it new, or is it just different than what we've been taught? And in my world, core is controlled by the limbic system, and core goes much farther than just rectus abdominis. Core is much more than just doing sit-ups. Actually, sit-ups are detrimental to you if you don't have a core. Core meaning all the way from the head down to the balls of the big toes. Frustration that it's just such a slow process. I'm actually just so ready. Cool. So if you're truly genuinely ready to speed up the process 1,000-fold, you're going to want to work with me one-on-one. And that's what I do. Okay. But also remember, so ready to live life without ever talking about healing again. So remember, how long did it take you to get where you are today? Took a friggin' long time, right? But last week you experienced less tension. So that tells us something about the work that you've been doing. Now, when I got into massage school 23 years ago, I was not in a good way. I was depressed. I'd been depressed most of my life, if not all of it. And I saw massage as a mechanical thing. This is my massage. This is what I do. And I did help people, but it was very incomplete. And then I went to the Rolf Institute. A couple years later, I got Rolfed and I went to the Rolf Institute. Holy cow, I got to go to the Rolf Institute. This is amazing. My physical body feels so much better. I'm still a mess mentally, but my physical body feels so much better. And I went to the Rolf Institute, and it was a mechanical, physical thing again. And I was helping more people, but it was incomplete. And then I started learning about the emotions in relation to EFT because I went and saw an EFT therapist. Didn't believe it worked because, as you know, Jessica, when we tap, we're not doing anything. We're just tapping on our face and tapping on our hands. What the heck? But I walked out of that office sweaty as heck because I was just dumping so much. Didn't know why. Looked outside and the sky was bluer and the clouds were wider. I'm like, wow. Okay, well, something's different. So I got to put this practice. And so the next day I took it out to a rock, sat up on the rock and started doing the tapping because I was afraid of heights. And this rock's only 10 feet high. I shouldn't be shaking like I am, but I knew it. That was 20 years ago. And I'm still not afraid of heights. Actually, I can carry a window up and down a ladder multiple times by myself, put it in while I'm 20 feet up off the ground with no big deal. It's friggin' really cool. And then I started learning about the brain and its control over everything and its connection through the core and its tendency to hold on to the negative. And that's kind of where you went. I experienced less tension last week, but God dang, it takes so long. Now, yes, my healing experience has been 23 years long, but that's because I had never found the right person to truly get me what I needed. Which what I needed was healing my brain and helping me understand who I am. And I didn't know who I was. I had no confidence in who I was. And a lot of that was taken away with concussions, as well as childhood stuff. Not to say that I had a bad childhood, especially in relation to some of the people that I've worked with, but our brain holds on to stuff that we don't need. Even stuff from beyond before we were even conscious, which is freaking crazy. That would be amazing to have immediate results like that. It gives hope and makes you keep going, right? So tell me, okay, Jessica, do you want immediate results right now with one thing about your physical or mental state right now? And we're gonna show you immediate results right now. Now, I know I can't invite you on right now, but what if you didn't even have to be live and you could have instantaneous results that will actually stay with you? Now, it doesn't mean if you say, oh, I got some pain in my back right now, it doesn't mean you won't have pain in your back tomorrow, but it'll be different. Because when we resolve one issue, another deeper one may come to the surface. But it's not a bad thing if something deeper comes to the surface. It's actually a good thing. You acknowledge that something came to the surface. Oh, here's another layer that I can work on. Now, when you're working with me one-on-one, we are working through hundreds of layers in a session. The amount of work that I get done in a session is insane. It's not like you work with somebody who is a past life regressionist, right? Well, they work with that one lifetime. Man, I'm going to work with that lifetime, generational stuff, this lifetime, go back in utero. Oh my God.